Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
TRE in the afternoon. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Good afternoon. It's just coming up to 5:10 and you are listening to Women Talk. With me in the studio today is Lenny Lucci, Siobhan Daly and Mayara Santos. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to have you all with us. If you are listening at home and you'd like to get involved, you can. Here's how.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95.
What a beautiful day, so wonderful life.
Now, I'm sure you're all aware there are heat waves happening in the UK, Ireland, France, Italy, Spain, various parts of the country. People are experiencing high temperatures that have never happened before, apparently. And I thought this was quite interesting. France, a country renowned for being proud of its wine. So for France to ban alcohol at festivals due to a heat wave seems like quite a big thing. The French Prime Minister announced on Saturday that to preserve emergency and healthcare services, no drinking would be allowed at Fête de la Musique events in regions with a red heatwave alert. So do you think, well, that's very sensible because people drinking in the sun can be dangerous and therefore might put a strain on the health services? Or do you think that's slightly controlling?
Yeah, maybe just have more shaded areas. I thought the French could handle their drink better than us, but better than English people anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly. I found that so weird.
It should be white wine because it's colder. You have white wine, it's better. It doesn't need to be red wine. Just white wine, loads of water, and that's it.
Once you're hydrated and in a bit of shade, and you're taking it easy, I would say, this...
I mean, it's down to the people. People need to be responsible.
They're adults.
And the reality is a lot of people aren't necessarily responsible, and particularly if you're not used to hot temperatures. I know in the UK it was always a thing. Whenever the sun came out, everyone would rush to the pub. It was a whole beer garden extravaganza because everyone would want to sit outside and would be drinking outside because I suppose it would remind people of being in a country like Spain where that's completely normal.
Remember holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the feeling of holidays after work.
Yeah.
People want to feel that,
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I can understand the services, the health services will be under a bit of pressure
for sure
with higher numbers and that. But you have to also give a bit of responsibility to adults to make their own choices.
That's what I think.
That's what they want to do. As long as they're careful enough.
Yeah, I think it's a bit. Yeah.
To be fair, they still can't end up in the hospital because of the heat. Not just the alcohol, it's just being that exposed. If you don't protect yourself, wear a hat, something, you still might have a problem. So yeah, like you said, it might a little bit controlling.
Yeah. I mean, as it's at a festival, it's in a controlled environment. They could make some more signs putting up saying, please keep hydrated, make sure you drink alcohol. Or the other, whatever the right thing to say is make sure you drink plenty of water, please do have fun and have a good time, but, find shaded areas when you can, giving people advice to remind them what they should and shouldn't be doing. But I think telling them they can't drink alcohol at a music festival when they've already bought tickets, I think
is severe.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I've never heard of that
And
before.
funny because Ireland is not a warm country. Now this week it is.
Yeah.
But if you go to a festival, if you go to any event, they're gonna have places with water to fill up your bottles, to not just buying.
Yeah.
So that's just something that you should consider. Have water everywhere so people can drink it.
Yeah, that
anytime.
is good, actually. I've noticed some events, I can't think what, to be honest, here in Marbella, but some event, because water can be really expensive. You can go to concerts and pay like €8-9 for a bottle of small water, which is crazy. But some places have started offering free water, which is great when it's not all about the money. If you're at a venue that most people are going to be drinking alcohol and paying €10 for a gin and tonic or whatever, you can, and especially when it's hot in a hot country, you can at least give away free water. water.
Exactly, yeah.
Definitely. But it's all about money, isn't it, most of the time,
always.
unfortunately. This I thought was fascinating, and I can sort of relate to this from both sides, even though I don't fall into the younger age bracket that they're talking about. They are often accused of staring at their phones to avoid conversation, but a survey has found that Gen Z won't even put down their devices to knock on a friend's door, preferring to text "I'm outside" instead. 1 in 4 think their friend is more likely to hear their phone than a knock at the door. I have to say, me and my friends kind of do this. That
I'm outside. Well, if the person is coming outside to meet you, makes sense.
Exactly. That is the difference. I was going to say, if someone's coming into your house, if you've invited people over, then they will knock on the door or ring the bell or whatever, because you answer the door and they come in. But if they're picking you up, then it makes sense for them to say, "I'm outside," and then you come out, so they're not sitting outside for too long. Instead of them having to get out of the car and press the button, "I'm outside," or "I'm 2 minutes away," or something like that, sort of makes sense.
Yeah, especially with the use of technology now, it's constant.
It's so easy.
I mean, I do my own daughter to pick her up from her dad's, and it's like, "I'm outside."
Yeah.
She might take 10 minutes, but she knows I'm here.
She's aware, and
she's aware I'm there. But it's quite common, and it can happen in workplaces too. The younger generation, they don't like to answer the phones. It's the talking, immediate chat with someone else, and it's not something coming from an analog era. Being a bit older, it's a house phone. You'd always had a house phone.
Yeah.
And, so now it's much more of a kind of a bit of a fear of the telephone. Use of
it's
telephone.
Weird, isn't
it? It's texting, and it's a lot of texting goes on.
Yeah, we don't use the phone as much, do we, for talking? I mean, I talk to my father regularly every day on the phone. I ring my husband if we're messaging, and then I'll easily ring him just because it's quicker if there's things that we want to talk about. But other than that, it's very rare. If someone calls you other than your immediate family, I guess, it might be like, "Oh, why is this person calling?" You might think that something happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it feels like calling needs to be something serious. If you just need to ask someone a question, you send them a message. You wouldn't call them to go, "Hi, do you want to come on Women Talk?"
Yeah.
You'd send a message.
And voice notes as well. That's a huge thing. I do that with my girlfriends, and we constantly send each other voice notes. And it's lovely to hear their voices if they're not in the same. A lot of my friends live abroad in the UK, places like that. So it's lovely to go, "Oh gosh, lovely to hear your voice."
Yeah,
that kind of thing. But we won't make time to actually. I ring you at 6. Or it's like, why would you ring me? It's just leave me a voice note.
Exactly. But is there a voice note etiquette? Is there a certain amount of time that's the maximum, do you think?
It depends on the person.
I know. I'm the kind of person, if the voice note is going to have more than a minute and a half, just call me.
Yes.
If you're going to send me a long voice note, just call me straight away.
I had one
think
the other
it's so
day
much
that
better.
was like 5 minutes.
No.
And I didn't even press play. I just typed back and I said, "Any chance you can summarise in a few sentences?" Like, I'm not sitting here for 5 minutes. I'm a busy person.
Or then you cut off in 30 seconds, different ones,
you can come back to it.
Exactly.
Yes, good, but do it in chunks. Yeah. Do you do voice notes?
Yeah, and I was going to say, actually, on Instagram, you can't rewind. So say you might have missed, I might do something else while I'm listening to it. If it's a long one and I get half, I'm like, "Oh, what was that part?" And I'm finished then. What was 1 minute 29 in? Because I missed it, I'm not going back. But I definitely end up speeding them up. I've got a couple of friends, we do quite long voice notes for each other, but I think it's good etiquette to leave a short one, because people have got other things to do.
Well,
to you all
that's
back.
true. Yeah.
And you need to be able to totally kind of switch off in order to listen to a voice note. If you're looking at your phone and a message comes through, we're quite good at multitasking. We could be doing something else and you could see a message and just quickly reply, "Okay, no probs," or "See you later," or whatever. But if it's a voice note, you need to stop what you're doing and play the voice note, and that's not always possible, is it?
Sometimes
So
I'm
it's
just doing the dishes and then listening as a podcast. Like, okay, I leave it there.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want.
That's fine.
I'll charge you later.
Exactly, yeah. And then I answer. I'm not going to answer now, but I'm going to listen. And then I answer after I finish the dishes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Then I'll reply. So there was an article talking about the greatest gigs of all time, according to a poll. Number one, I don't think it was. It was number one. Queen at Live Aid in 1985, which was obviously absolutely iconic. Other things like the Beatles' rooftop concert at Apple headquarters. That was their last live performance in 1969. Oasis at Nebworth in 1996. I feel very uncomfortable about that because my boyfriend at the time bought us tickets and we were going to be going and I was so excited. And then I went on holiday and came home and he literally said, it was like a 3-week holiday. We were only 15 and he said, oh, sorry, I got used to being without you, so I gave the ticket to my mate.
No!
Oh, can you imagine?
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
What a terrible person.
Yes, well done. Yes.
Horrible person. No.
Yeah, we haven't spoken since. And the annoying thing is I bought him loads of presents from holiday.
So that was when
I wrote
June.
poetry. It was when I was into my poetry phase as a 15-year-old. I was writing him poems, I was buying him presents, and I got that when I got home.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
I'd like to say I've got over it, but
You never will. The problem is not the relationship, it's the concert.
yeah, exactly. I don't care about him as the concert. I'm gutted I never got to go to that. So what are some of your favourite concerts? I always think this is an interesting one. Or do you remember your first concert, or what kind of sticks out as being a music moment?
Well, this has gone back a few years now. Mine was 1994.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. I saved up my own money and went to the first Fela. It was called Fela 94, so Festival 94 in Ireland. And it's kind of when festivals started to happen in Ireland, the music scene started to kind of grow. We had Bjork, Rage Against the Machine.
Wow.
It was amazing to see live acts in that sense,
Yeah.
and that just spurred it on after that.
And was that your first experience?
Very first,
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
I still remember it to this day.
I bet.
It was amazing.
And nice that your first experience of live music was a festival with lots of different artists.
Yeah, so I mean, it just opens your eyes up to artists you wouldn't have known about as well.
Definitely.
It's a great way to learn about new music and things like that.
It's fab, isn't it? People who don't go to concerts don't really get it and say, well, why don't you just save the money and stay home and listen to the music at home for free? But no, it's such an experience.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see your favourite groups or favourite artists live. It's really, really special.
Yeah, I like a festival. I feel like maybe the I don't know, back in the day a concert was better than it is now. I don't know, I just feel like the overcrowdedness, even the people, that's horrible to say, but I don't know. When you said 1994, I thought, yeah, but that was sick. But yeah, no, I've been to quite a few festivals. I've got a lot of my family in the music industry, so I've kind of been a bit blessed by that and been with them, so I couldn't even tell you the first one I ever went to. But I love the music. When it's there and it's live, I want to be right up there, as close to the speaker as you can be. And there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I've been going to concerts since I was a teenager in Brazil, and so I would go in small venues, but I think the biggest one, the first big concert I went to when I was 18 was Pearl Jam, when they played in Brazil, and the first time that they were playing in Brazil. And since then, I've been to other 2 concerts for them. Yeah. It's one of my favorite bands, so I love it. But I've been going to festivals as well. It's that feeling of live music, listening and seeing them there. And seeing them perform. Like last year I went to see Oasis, and it was amazing. I missed them in Ireland because it was sold out and it was so expensive, but I had the chance to see them in Brazil with my brother because it's one of his favorite bands as well. So I think that feeling of being with the person that is like he's my best friend, and seeing a band that we've been listening since the 90s, grow up listening to it, was amazing feeling.
Oh, I'd love to see Oasis. I really would. I tried when all the tickets came out.
It was sold out so fast.
I was on waiting. It's like NASA in our house. My husband and I, we had like 2 laptops, 2 phones. We were
in the queue waiting.
It was ridiculous. But then I knew people who spent ages doing that and eventually got through, and the tickets were like 500 and something each, and they were all like sharing credit cards and trying to make it work. And I mean, if I got through and it was that, I wouldn't have done it, because also you would have had flights and accommodation. You would have spent like the best part of $2,000 to go to a concert, which is
It's too much.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
it
insane.
really is.
It's very extortionate prices.
They have
for
gone
things
up,
nowadays.
haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
They
and it's-
really have.
There's enough pressure out there on people, like, you know, cost of living crisis and all that. So
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see a bit more fair ticketing prices out there. You know?
I think so. I think for any concert, you're lucky to get a ticket for less than 120 euros out here, anyway, in this area. But yeah, last year it was different. We went to see Kylie last year, which was amazing, and the tickets were like 55 euros, whereas at the same venue this year in Seville, the cheapest tickets are like 90, 110, 120. It's madness how much it's gone.
I went to the arena last weekend to see Kaiser Chiefs, and it was around that 55, 56 euros, so it was a fair price.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, that's
great
really
concert
good.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good price. I'm pleased. Nice to hear that. Britain has always been said to be a nation of animal lovers, and now there's proof. 2/3 of us have more pictures of our pets than our partners, children, or holiday moments. Can you relate?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Do you take lots of pictures of
Yeah,
pets?
my
over
mom
the years?
has 4 dogs.
Wow.
And I have loads of pictures of them on my phone. But a lot of my friends is like that. Do you see their Instagram? It's the dogs, it's the cats, everything, videos of them. It's always like that, yeah.
Well, they're so cute. I took a picture of my cat yesterday, I think. I couldn't see where she was, and then I realised she was sitting on the chair under the table, and I stroked her, and then she kind of rolled and ended up on the other chair, and I was like, what you doing? A little hairy belly, so I had to take a little photo.
It's funny when people try to show you pictures of their pets. That's the funniest. Like, what are you looking at? Look what you've done today.
Yeah. And you have to be totally into whether it's dogs or cats or both to appreciate
Definitely.
it. Otherwise you're like, I mean, I suppose it's the same with children to a certain extent. If people are constantly showing photos of their baby or whatever, unless you really love them and you're really close to them and you want... It's just a baby. You know what I mean? I'm not being
doing
funny.
anything.
No, exactly. No, but if it's like a good friend of yours or a family member, then obviously you
It's
want to
different
see.
then,
But just
yeah. Have a connection.
exactly, you need to have a connection. But cats, you don't need or dogs. You don't need a connection with the person. You can appreciate the. Yes. Okay. We better take a break before I get carried away.
Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Women Talk. With me in the studio today is Lenny Lucci, Siobhan Daly and Mayara Santos. Old phones are cluttering up our drawers, with 1 in 3 of us reluctant to part ways with our first mobile. Around 880 million unused gadgets are sitting in homes, with an average of 30 per household. Wow, I don't have my first phone. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a long time since I've had a first phone.
Yeah.
But I would have replaced like old phones in the house that I haven't got rid of.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
think I've only got my last one.
Yeah.
Maybe
probably
the one
I think I
before
might
that.
have 2, but
I do actually have my first. But back in the UK, I think where my mum still lives in the same house, so technically I don't have it with me. But yeah, I never chucked it away. I was
So
like,
you kept it on purpose?
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
it was
massive. Yeah. Well, probably not as big as the first ever, but yeah, it's pretty big.
Was it a Nokia?
I was an only child, so
Was it a Nokia?
It was like a Vodafone own make.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
I don't
big.
think it had a pull up like
Yeah,
I don't
flip
think it had
phone.
I don't think it had
Oh, I
an
remember
an
the pull-up
aerial,
ones, yeah.
but it had like
those
a little like a plastic aerial, but the one not that you pulled up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something along them lines.
Really
Little
vintage.
finger.
Oh, I loved it. I used to love Nokia. I literally went from Nokias to iPhones.
Yeah,
I think
I did the
Nokias
same,
were,
yeah.
Nokias were just brilliant, and there were always people that had the Samsungs or had the Ericssons. Or I remember once I think once I for a very short time, I had a Samsung, so I really wanted a flip phone, and Nokia didn't do flip phones. So I went to Samsung, but I didn't have it very long, so I just didn't get on with it at all. So I ended up going back to Nokia.
Nokia was great. It was great. It was a good phone.
Nokia.
Indestructible. But yeah, I wish I had it. I wish I still had it, but I have an old phone which saved me because a few days ago another phone I had just stopped working. I was like, I need something because it needs to work.
You had an old phone with you, just in case?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And it saved me because, like, at least I can use WhatsApp, I can use things.
So you
like
travelled with two phones?
Yes, basically. Yeah.
And I lost my phone this week. I had to get a replacement phone.
Oh, no.
So I now have currently a Spanish registered phone number, and I had to get a replacement SIM sent to my Irish address.
Okay.
But I can still use WhatsApp and things like that. So, you have Google account and that, but I was talking to a friend of mine. She lost her phone 2 weeks ago over in Kingston there in England. She's like, I didn't know whether to be panicked or feel like a certain amount of freedom and liberty from not having a mobile phone on you, because I said, you almost feel like you're naked without having the phone on your possession, and that's what it felt like. For me, it was more, oh gosh, what if something happens back in Ireland and I don't, I was like, well, they know my hotel. There's still ways to get in touch with someone in that sense.
But don't you have loads of photos on your phone? That would be the big thing for me.
I do, but they all uploaded to the drive, to Google, so...
Oh, well done.
cloud and all that, so yeah.
See, I wish I knew what an iCloud was. I have no idea how to access iCloud.
You hold on to that phone, Hannah.
I feel like that. And plus my iCloud storage has been full for goodness knows how long. So I'm sure there'll be years of photos that haven't gone to the cloud, wherever that is.
But I would say there's lots of people with old phones around, and I suppose the drive would be to, I know they say it'll lessen mining and things like that. It's for the environmental reasons that
there's charities that you can specifically give them to.
So you'd be more likely to recycle electronic devices as opposed like toasters, fridges, things like that.
Yeah.
Where you send them, you deliver them to the recycling centre and things like that. But mobile phones is different. It's kind of it's like a little personal piece of you. So
yeah, well, I think people would be nervous about if they were giving it away or even giving it to charity to ensure that they can remove all of the personal information from your phone. I think that would take ages. It's not like you can just press a button, go delete everything on the phone. You'd have to go through all the different, delete all the apps, delete all the photo.
Yeah, you can do like a factory.
Yeah, factory
it just clears the phone completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I don't know about that. Otherwise, I'd probably do it by accident. Oh dear. Okay, so every so often an article comes up about prices of stuff, like the most expensive burger or something like that. I saw this today and thought this was utterly obscene. An apron. You can buy an apron in Harrods that it is designer. Miu Miu. It was created by fashion designer Miuccia Prada, who owns luxury brands Prada and Miu Miu. The power dressing pinny boasts 2 useful pockets. I love how they make that sound so unique and special and different for an apron. And a simple tie fastening. Oh, good, you can tie it round you. There you go. Oh, I wish they'd thought of that before. It also comes in a light blue or white at the same price of £1,470.
I could think of better things to spend money on than
anything.
That amount for an apron. It's extortionate,
isn't it? I mean, an apron is there to protect your clothes. I.e., it's going to get dirty.
It's a practical use for it is to stop food and whatever ingredients you're working with to get onto your clothing, so that you can not have to change your clothes every time you cook.
Exactly.
So, it's unusual.
I mean, I wouldn't do it myself, but I get if people have got a certain amount of money and there's a designer that you like, maybe spending a few hundred or something is moderately better than over $1,000. But I just think over $1,000, it's plain, it's got nothing written on it. It cannot be justified, in my opinion. I don't care how much money you've got. That is just stupid, I think.
You're not wearing it out, are you?
Exactly. I can't find the argument for this to be justified.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason. It doesn't make any sense. It's just to say, look what I can make. It's an apron. I can make everything expensive, even an apron. Basically, that is.
And you can't even some of the materials that they're using. You have to dry clean or hand wash.
No.
It's not practical. It's taking up more time, more expense for an expensive item. It doesn't make sense.
And the point is, you can buy aprons that from most places for under £20.
Yeah.
I mean, if not less, if not under £10, depending on where you buy it from. It doesn't need to be a certain material. It doesn't need to be a certain colour. It's just the whole thing is ludicrous that it should be any kind of fashion statement. It's an apron.
But it has pockets. That's the thing.
So do all of the aprons I have in my house. I think we have about 6, and they're all for my husband because he's the cook. He's got like a barbecue one. He's got a MasterChef one, which was a present from a friend, which is really cool.
He can have 10. It's not going to cost all of that money.
Exactly. He's got a few for different occasions, and they're great. But no, that is just
it's crazy. My mother used to use them for putting the pegs from the clothesline.
Okay.
So she would pin them to the pockets. So she'd have a row of pegs. She'd be hanging out the washing. That's a practical use to me. But I don't think she would have paid over 1,000 euros or pounds for it.
No way.
It's crazy. So from one extreme to another, the idea of saving money. It's often said that mother knows best when it comes to making sound life decisions, but perhaps fathers also have a role to play, with a poll suggesting that the lessons children learn from their dads has saved them nearly £7,000 over the years. Some 51% claim fathers are the most financially savvy people they know, with the average child adopting 5 money-saving habits from them. See, I read all these and I was thinking, I feel like my mum as well as my dad would have said them. I don't associate with them, my dad particularly. Turn the lights off even if leaving the room for 5 minutes. Is that something we do?
I do that.
Yeah. And do you tell your kids to do
I
that?
do, of course. She comes in from school and she's at home for lunchtime and then go back to school. Don't forget to turn the bathroom light off.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, I do it. I do it after my husband as well. Sometimes, like in the kitchen, if I'm leaving the kitchen, I'll just turn the kitchen light off, like if we don't need to be. So yeah, I do that. Don't leave water running while brushing teeth.
I never do. My mom would always like, why is this tap open? There's no reason to be open. Like, you're brushing your teeth, you open again later. So it's something that I don't usually do.
I'm ashamed to say I do this, but it's because after I brush my teeth, I use a water pick, which is like a total game changer, which is basically like this, you need to fill it with water and then it shoots water between your teeth. So it's much easier and quicker and more effective than flossing.
Oh,
it's brilliant. It's
so much better.
Changer. It's so much better. But you cannot have the water cold, otherwise it hurts because it's the shock of cold on your teeth. So it needs to be warm. So my excuse for keeping the tap running is I need to get the water to be a bit warmer to fill up my water pick.
Okay.
So there we go. I have a reason for it.
Never heard of that before.
Oh, it's so good. I feel like a salesperson because whenever I talk about it, you think I'm on commission because it's honestly the best thing ever.
Oh, check that out.
It's similar to what dentists use usually when they clean up your teeth.
Exactly.
So yeah, it makes sense.
It's so good. And if you do it, see, I'm going into sales mode. If you do it after you've brushed your teeth, when normally that would be the end of your dental routine, unless you do floss every day. And then you see what else comes. It makes you realise what you would have left there if you weren't using the water pick.
So it's like your own
really
personal
satisfying.
dental hygiene clinic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's free. You can do it yourself. But yeah, I think they're fabulous. Bleed your radiators regularly. Well, we don't really have them here. I've never done that in my life.
We do, and that was something. Yeah, don't forget to bleed the radiators before winter. For airlock.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what it means, to be honest.
I don't know what it means, is it?
It's a way to get the air out of the... I don't know why I'm explaining this.
Please do. Tell us how you bleed your radiators.
Look, dads are great for helping with car things and purchases of cars, or, how to change a tyre, things like that.
Yes,
definitely. But... in terms of advice from parents or whatever, you know, both would be money savvy in my household. You'd go to my father for money. You'd never go to my mother for money. She would give it to you. So you'd as a kid, can I have some? What's it for? And then you'd get the money, but you wouldn't ask me mum. She'd be much more careful with the money, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And another one, oh no, there's two. Don't overfill the kettle, just use the water you need.
Yeah, I would do that if I only fill it to what I'm going to use.
The only thing is, about halfway up the kettle, see, I've got these reasons for it. About halfway up the kettle is like the metallic bit that heats up and heats the water, or part of it that does. So I always think you need to fill the water above that, otherwise you get the scaling and things, because you're heating that and it's not in the water. You know what I mean? So I always feel the need to go above that bit.
Yeah.
Otherwise...
I always go above, unfortunately. I feel like, no, don't need more water. I always go above.
Yeah. I mean, every so often I think, I don't need that much. And then I'm pouring out the cups and there isn't enough water. That's annoying. And then you think, why am I being so careful? I now need to boil more water to finish pouring the tea.
I have to go through that again.
Yeah, exactly. It's silly. Wear a jumper instead of putting the heating on.
Oh, my mum would say that.
Yeah,
or a house coat, or dressing gown. For some people call it a dressing gown. In Ireland, it's called a house coat. You know, that goes over your in the evening time.
Yeah,
and of course, if you were at work, you'd have signs up. In previous job I had was it's wear a jumper week for economic for energy saving in the building kind of thing. It was like okay, but it actually does. I mean, it does make sense. It works when you think of radiators and heating in the homes. It was clothing that kept you, and usually layers, including your bedding. It wasn't just a duvet. It might have been 3 or 4 blankets on your bed, you know. Yeah. So I can understand the logic behind it, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we better take another break.
Hannah Murray, TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's just coming up to 6:15. You are listening to Women Talk. With me in the studio today is Lenny Lucci, Siobhan Daly and Mayara Santos. Holidays are becoming a luxury for many families as rising living costs in Spain reshape travel habits. So this was an article in Spain from a Spanish paper talking about how people are having less holidays, not able to afford to go on holidays because of the rising living costs, which I'm sure are the case in Ireland, certainly the case in the UK as well. So you don't need to share financial information or anything, but I just wondered if you'd thought about holidays and if you're doing things differently, if you're having more holidays either in the country that you live in or doing like weekend breaks as opposed to thinking of needing or wanting a 2-week holiday. I just wondered if the way you thought of holidays or did holidays had changed because of living costs and things.
It's usually just 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It's always like the day you arrive, the day to walk around, day to rest, something like that. It's never too many days.
Yeah.
Because you think, I have to go back and I have to organize finances and things like that. So I don't have that much time and I don't have that much money.
Yeah.
So something that would be nice to enjoy a whole week end up being 2-3 days usually. Yeah.
And you can get so much out of 2 or 3 days. We love a weekend away.
Yeah.
Even one night feels amazing, but 2 nights particularly, you can relax, you can look around, you can have some nice food, you can lie on the beach if that's what you want to do, or if you're exploring a city, you can see all the sights. You can really get. I haven't had a 2-week holiday since my honeymoon, which was, in fact, that was 10 days. It wasn't even 2 weeks, and that was like 9 years ago. So, yeah, I think it's nice. Depending on where you live, obviously, and the climate will depend on the type of holiday that you're having. But to have little weekend city breaks, I think, is fab.
Yeah, and I think people work around things like public holidays, things like that.
Yeah.
We are, I think, just below the national average of public holidays in Europe, in Ireland, so we're hoping for another one. We did get St. Bridget's Day for February, so that's one extra public holiday. But a lot of people do that. They do a 4-night away.
Yeah.
And they'll try and work it around where they might have one day off work and then a bank holiday falls the following Monday, and so that's your 4 days, you know.
Yeah,
Like
perfect.
the last trip I did was with my dad and sister and her husband, and they were in. We went to Lake Como in Italy.
Oh,
Tr- and
lovely.
3 nights, that was it, and it was beautiful. We got to swim in the lake.
Yeah.
Got to enjoy a bit of the culture, and then that was it. Back home again, you know. Just it was a short trip, but it wasn't expensive. We did
Okay.
use Airbnb because. You know, it can work out cheaper sometimes.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
hotels and accessibility, things like that for
And
older people and things, you know.
Yeah, perfect. And it's so nice to explore the country that you live in. Both Ireland and Spain are beautiful countries with so much to see. And, you know, I'm always not embarrassed, but I didn't live in the UK that long as an adult. And I haven't seen much of England at all. I've never been to Wales. I've never been to Scotland. And I haven't seen, you know, a lot of the major cities in England. I haven't been to.
Wow.
Because I've lived abroad, and you end up exploring.
It's different, isn't
It
it?
is different.
Yeah.
It is.
I've been to Scotland, Wales. It was one of my first family holidays. Actually, we went to I think it was Pontins, Pontins, and that was just travelling there was amazing. It was brilliant, you know. And but I would like to see more of England, central parts, and there's a lot of beautiful towns and places that I'm not familiar with, you know. So I mean, you know, there's beautiful countryside places and all sorts.
I want to explore more of Ireland.
Oh, do you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
You should, as you should.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have
I've been to
beautiful
Dublin
places.
and a few places around
my family
Dublin.
live in
but-
west of Ireland. So
Yeah.
we moved there
Cork.
in 1990s. No, County Clare.
County Clare,
So
okay.
southwest. So just on the there's the River Shannon in between County Kerry and County Clare.
Yeah.
And then you have Galway, Mayo, Donegal up north. But the coastline is amazing. The cliffs,
Yeah.
the water. It's fun when the weather's good, you know.
Yeah,
But it is.
definitely.
It's a lovely. They have a thing called a Wild Atlantic Way, so you can travel around and do your exploration through the map, things like that. You know.
lovely.
So,
Wow.
it's
I definitely like to go in the summer.
Yeah.
My cousin actually got married in Ireland. I'm pretty sure it was in Cork.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Cork's lovely. Yeah, it's got some good
yeah,
spots.
it was
yeah.
beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the cold, so I'd like to.
exactly.
in
Yeah,
Spain, we're
definitely
quite
go
blessed.
summertime.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, sometimes it's easy for people to think who don't live here that us who live here don't need to go on holiday because we live in a holiday resort. But we're still working.
Yeah, getting out of your house,
there's-
like you said.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
even one night.
there's less of a need to have a beachy holiday, to be honest, because I can walk to the beach from my house. So yes, when I'm not working for a weekend or whatever, it is obviously much easier to go to the beach. But still getting away and a city break or a relaxing retreat or something like that, it's still really important to do because you're working. It doesn't matter. People think just because we live in Spain, we're sitting on the beach drinking sangria every day.
100%, yeah.
But people come over here on holiday and they've been here 3 days and they're like, I'm browner than you. And I'm like, that's because you're spending all your time in the sun and I'm at work. They get a tan in 3 days and go, woohoo.
You're sitting by my pool all day, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't sunbathed for 3 weeks. We better take the last ad break.
Hannah Murray. TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the last part of today's Women Talk with Lenny Lucci, Siobhan Daly and Mayara Santos. So there's an article here called Top 20 Countries with the Most Handsome Men. And before we start, I can say that obviously all men are handsome and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And we are not going to objectify men during this segment or say that any of these countries don't contain handsome men because, of course, they all do. It's an interesting one, though. I've no idea where this data has come from. I think it was Giles that sent this to me, so I'm blaming Giles, even if he didn't send it to me. So, yeah, I've no idea where the data comes from. I've no idea who they asked, how many people they asked, but I'm going to run through the top 20. At 20, Japan. 19, Portugal. 18, Germany. 17, Norway. 16, Kenya. 15, Nigeria. 14, Denmark. 13, Canada. 12, United Kingdom. 11, Pakistan. 10, France. 9, South Korea. 8, United States. 7, India. 6, Turkey. 5, Lebanon. 4, Brazil. 3, Italy. 2, Sweden. And number 1 is Spain.
Wow.
Well done, Spain.
How lucky.
Lucky us, Lenny.
We're in the right place.
Yeah,
though.
exactly, in the right place. So this is fascinating. I'm trying to work out where to go with this. That isn't going to be.
I just want to highlight that Ireland isn't on that list, so
No.
I'm a bit perplexed. I don't know what's going on.
And that's wrong. Ireland
But
should
that's
be on the list. Ireland has lots of good-looking men. That's just not right. So yeah, I've no idea how they came up with this. And I mean, the reality is, it's impossible to summarise a race as being good-looking.
100%.
I kind of get whole Sweden thing. I expect Sweden would be up there with women as well, because they're they're traditionally tall and blonde, and they've just got that kind of good-looking vibe, haven't they? As a race, I suppose the Swedes, but also the Norwegians. I suppose Scandinavia, the Dutch also are very tall, but Netherlands isn't on here, is it? No, Netherlands isn't on there. Interestingly, I've no idea.
To be fair, if you watch the World Cup, it's a good measure to see like players and pay attention, not just in the game.
Yes.
No. So
I was impressed with Ghana. And not just because of their defence. Yes.
Well, we watched the Brazilian
football, clearly.
Definitely. My husband's so impressed that I'm so up for watching the World Cup.
so interested.
glued to the telly.
Oh dear. But I mean, I was interested trying to think about the general look of a lot of these countries, because there is a classic kind of tall, dark, handsome thing that a lot of women will say, what's your ideal type? And I suppose a lot of these countries are traditionally men with maybe darker skin, and therefore go along with the dark, handsome, mysterious vibe, I suppose.
To be fair, Brazil being fourth, not saying just because of Brazilian, we have beautiful people in general.
Yes.
But it's a lot of mixtures, a lot of types of people. People always say a Brazilian person doesn't have a face, a type.
Okay.
We see so many different people, brown, black, white, is so different like types, and people have their favorite. Any Brazilian person can be beautiful, but in that different style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's interesting. So would you not necessarily look at a lineup and be able to spot the Brazilian people?
As you recognize by the way that they talk, the way that we talk, the way that we walk and things like that, but as
looks-wise,
it's hard because there's a lot of mixture, a lot of European families and everything, so it's hard to recognize it right away, you know?
I feel like Brits are quite easy to spot, particularly on holiday. They're burnt and they're drinking beer. Yes.
Sounds a lot like the Irish.
Yes. But it's a strange one. Anyone have any personal favourites or comments?
We watched the Brazilian match last night for the World Cup, and I was very impressed. Yeah.
Don't get football at all, but I was impressed by that. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm happy that UK is in there, even at number 12. But it's impossible to summarise a whole race, because I'm sure we've all, and as I say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely,
met people that we don't think are particularly good looking, or people that we do that are from the same race. So it's just silly to kind of summarise. And we might be offended if it was women, so we're not going to. Yes, we're trying very, very diplomatic here. We've only got a few minutes left, so let's do a bit of this one. The social media ban that happened in Australia, it's since happened in the UK. Apparently it's proving to be pretty ineffective in Australia, and the thoughts are it's going to be ineffective in the UK as well. It's really difficult to ban kids from social media. They're still finding a way to get on it, which I'm not surprised by.
No, certainly not. I mean, I've got nieces and nephews who use it, who are 12, 11 now. It's parental controlled, and they're only friends with their own friends. But I understand that the safeguarding behind it. But what's not happening is technology companies actually implementing that safeguarding. The verification side of it. And credit is due to kids as well, who are media savvy or tech savvy. They know how to get around things.
Definitely.
And so you've got to be one step ahead if it's a case. But it shouldn't. The onus shouldn't be on minors. It should be on those supplying those platforms.
Definitely.
That's where the key lies, and investment needs to be put into that. Before you're going to see any dramatic changes. You know, I mean, if kids are still getting on online, but obviously safety is a huge thing. You know,
I think it's just difficult if you've given it to them and then taking it away. That's the tough thing. You could say that with anything, with just devices. You know, if a kid's grown up with the iPad and the parents decide they're not having an iPad anymore, that would be really difficult because the kid's used to it. If the parents suddenly went, right, we're getting rid of all the telephones, all the televisions, all the mobiles, that would be really, really hard.
Yeah, they are growing up with social media on their hands.
Yeah.
It's hard to just remove this.
Exactly. If they've never had it, then they don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
But I think giving it to them and then taking it away must be really difficult for the kids and the parents.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's got to be stricter controls in terms of like even advertisements that they're watching.
Yeah.
You know, product selling, all that kind of stuff, promotional stuff. If that's managed correctly, they can have a life on social media in the sense where it's protected
and
properly.
Exactly. And they're so not, and different sites are different. I remember watching a documentary a while ago now about TikTok and how easy it is to get the algorithm to, if you're looking up something really quite disturbing, if you're really depressed as a youngster and you're looking up disturbing images, suddenly you're bombarded with stuff, and that's really frightening. If you're in like a really low, dark place, you can find all kinds of it's
very
really
dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Very dangerous, and that's just not controlled for youngsters or for adults. You know, they just think if that's what you're looking up, that's what you want to see, so we'll show it to you. You know, it's really scary. Okay, so good luck to parents with that. Just I really, really feel for parents going through that. Thank you all very, very much for coming on today. Thank you to Lenny, thank you to Siobhan, and thank you to Mayara. When are you guys going back to Dublin?
Well, tomorrow is our last day in the radio, so we're back to Dublin on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But these past 2 weeks were amazing, and I thank you as well, because everybody here in the radio station, you treated us so well, so welcoming. Nice. It was really, really nice. Thank you so much.
Thanks a million. It's been a great opportunity being over here.
It's been lovely.
I've got loads more freckles to go home with.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this programme, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.